Stop.
Wow.
Is the President of the United States currently recording conversations taking place in the Oval Office?
I think the point that I made with respect to the tweet is the President has no further comment on this.
Why were the American people given incorrect information that night?
I don't necessarily believe that that's true, Zeke. There was a decision-making process. The President explained it in the interview process. The bottom line is that the Director of the FBI serves the pleasure of the President. The President made a decision to replace him, as he has stated very clearly now publicly. The President is now focused on making sure that he finds a replacement that has the leadership qualities to lead the FBI. That's it, plain and simple.
Offering congratulations, thanks, and praise, and encouragement.
Can you walk through why the discrepancy in terms of whose decision this was?
Well, it's always the President's decision. That's it, final.
Did he take the...
As I mentioned to Zeke, this is ultimately the President's, always going to be the President's decision. Everyone who serves at the pleasure of the President, it's ultimately going to be his decision to hire someone, to fire someone. He made a decision, in part based on the recommendation, and he's now focused on making sure that we have a replacement at the FBI to instill the proper leadership they need.
He's been very publicly clear about his desire to address that situation.
There's two pieces of this, right, which is what was Russia's involvement. The President is obviously very concerned about any entity's attempts to influence the United States election. And that's one investigation. I think the second, this false narrative that we continue to fight every day, that has been debunked by intelligence individuals, members of Congress who've been briefed over and over again, that's where I think he's growingly concerned, as well as a number of American people who are growingly concerned that there is this perpetuated false narrative out there. That's I think, the nut of this. No, I think on several occasions, Director Clapper has said that he has no knowledge of any collusion. That's it. I mean, that's the point that he has.
He hasn't been briefed. He said he wouldn't know because he hasn't been briefed.
He was DNI up until January 20th.
He was very clear today that he said, nor should I have in this particular context. He made the case that he's not briefed on an FBI investigation, that that's not his purview.
Fair enough. He's the Director of National Intelligence. On multiple occasions prior to today, he made it very clear that he was unaware of any collusion.
The point was he wouldn't know.
Well,
right?
but then,
there'd been no final conclusion.
Right, I
understand.
understand.
No final conclusion.
I understand that, but then,
so
the question that I would ask then, Kristen, is then why did he say what he said before? It seems his testimony and comments on multiple occasions prior to today was, I have no evidence that there was any collusion, right? So to suddenly today shift his story, I believe that the question should be asked to him. You were the Director of National Intelligence. You said multiple times, including in testimony in front of Congress, under oath, that there was no collusion. I believe that that's a question for him. With respect to the President, as I mentioned, he's an activist president. He keeps an unbelievably busy and robust schedule. And there are times when we give you the information that we have at the time and we seek to get an update. And I believe that you and others will attest to when we don't have an answer, we try really hard to either update you after the fact or to get you the facts that we didn't have at the time. But we work really hard every day to do that. And I think the President's point that I pointed out earlier is that there are times when we're asked a question, we do our best to give you the answer, and every word is picked apart to try to figure out how to make an issue out of it, as opposed to allowing us to, talk to the President, get his current thinking and updates if we hadn't had an opportunity to do that at this time. Jennifer.
Did you ask the President if he has installed listening devices in the